इसी के साथ हम कार्यक्रम को आगे बढ़ाते हुए अपने पहले सत्र की तरफ बढ़ रहे हैं, जो कि है की नोट सेशन। इसमें मैं यहाँ उपस्थित हमारे चीफ गेस्ट्स को मंच पे आमंत्रित करना चाहूँगी। मैं इनवाइट करना चाहूँगी श्री शैलेश कुमार सिंह जी को, सेक्रेटरी MORD गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया। सर प्लीज़ वेलकम। मैं मंच पे आमंत्रित करना चाहूँगी श्री सुनील कुमार जी को, जो कि फॉर्मर सेक्रेटरी हैं मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ पंचायती राज में गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया। मैं मंच पे आमंत्रित करना चाहूँगी मिस ध्रुवी शाह, जो कि एग्जीक्यूटिव ट्रस्टी और CEO हैं एक्सिस बैंक फाउंडेशन में। मैं मंच पे आमंत्रित करना चाहूँगी मिस सीमा अरोड़ा, जो कि एग्जीक्यूटिव डायरेक्टर हैं CII Center of Excellence for Sustainable Development. Okay, so I invite Ms. Dhruvi to come on stage and give a welcome address to the participants who are present here and also the keynote. So Dhruvi heads the Axis Bank Foundation, which aims to create sustainable livelihoods for rural communities in India by enhancing and diversifying their streams of income. Before joining Axis Bank in 2016, Dhruvi was with the ABN AMRO Bank NV for 18 years, where she took up the responsibility of ABM AMRO's sustainable development and not-for-profit management vertical in 2008. She is also the curator and author of the Book of Aspiration, a collection of inspirational memoirs from social leaders. As an advisor to multiple NGOs and a member of various working groups, Dhruvi passionately supports several social causes such as sustainable development, natural resource management, women empowerment, and financial literacy. With this, I take this opportunity to invite Dhruvi on the podium.
Very good morning. Sorry, my voice is really bad. I think once the SGD 11 gets fully actualized, we'll have better air quality. So very good morning to everyone present here. Also people online, I'm told there are many people who are joining us online, so a very warm welcome to them. Samagam is confluence of a lot of people, and I would like to thank our guests here today, Shri Shailesh Kumar ji from Ministry of Rural Development, and Mrs. Sunil Kumar from the Panchayati Raj, and Ms. Seema Arora from CII. So this, as Anup ji mentioned, is our partnership with Pradhan for this dialogues on localizing SGD perspective, policy and practice. And the next 2 days or 1.5 days, the 6 sessions, are going to bring forth a lot of experiences of working for the problems we are trying to solve. Not all 17 fall in the realm of what we do and the 169 sub-targets, but there are several of them which are designed to solve the inequality, ecological restoration, multidimensional poverty. So those are the issues we will see a lot more ground experience coming from. But the challenge that lies in front of all of us as different stakeholders is going to be about actually achieving the targets. All of us are working, and based on our experience, we've also tried, right? All of us are trying to solve this problem of inequality that we face. But the SGDs and the talking together, sharing of experiences continues to be a challenge, and that includes all of us. That includes us as funders in the funding community, that includes the NGOs, that includes CSOs. So some of our experience that I would like to share, which I feel can help, at least has helped us as funders, to look, the way we look at things is somewhere like it was mentioned, we have to keep the community at the center, give them more power, more leadership that can develop, even if sometimes it's not the best solution, but if it's a solution that there is ownership for, I think those solutions last for a very long time. We are all outsiders to an extent, so it's very important to develop local leadership. It's very important, especially there are many silos that we see trying to solve the same problem. Increasingly with CSR, you sometimes have multiple NGOs trying to solve the same problem in the area. There is no sure sort solution for this, but what has worked is local collaboratives. We have had experience where there are network of collaborative organizations along with the government, along with the community, trying to work on a common design. It is a bit of an effort, but I think those results go in much longer way than before. Measuring impact, we all measure impact, outcome separately. CSR measures it separately, CSOs measure it separately. I think understanding, and if we are able to localize SDGs and understanding the impact from the side of the community, I think that is going to be the biggest challenge. We can, there is enough power in this room to make this happen. If we all get to it, if we are able to simplify certain metrics, the localizing of SDGs gives us that strong platform to be able to do that. I was thinking and reading about it in the last couple of days, and I think there are answers that some of us grapple with it. And here is where a lot of collaboration between CSOs and NGOs is going to be required. Not that it has not been attempted in the past, and the reason I'm stressing on it is there is a lot of ownership and responsibility that lies with us. And I feel if we are not able to capitalize on this opportunity, which we have for the next 7 years, I think there are opportunities to create pathway of simplification. Keeping community at the center can help us answer a lot of those questions. Again, I'm stressing on the same thing. It can build partnerships. It can remove inefficiencies. There is no other way to work than collaborative. We've seen projects where there is collaboration versus projects there is no collaboration, and the impact is just immense with collaboration. While we all talk of collaboration, it is hard work, and I would urge everyone to walk that path now. It will take time, but I feel there is more efficiency, strength to be able to do that. There are large networks that are coming up. There are networks like RCRC. There are networks like Rain-Fed Agriculture Network. There are networks like CII, FICCI. It's also a confluence of these networks that is going to help the larger ecosystem in which we operate. I'm also slightly talking on the philanthropy and the CSR side because that's the side I represent. There are boardroom decisions that will be required if we have to actually do this. And it will not happen by anybody alone. There are few principles that by the end of tomorrow, if we are able to come up with a charter to be able to do this, I think it will be a time well spent in these 2 days, is can we have a charter for all of us, for the donors, for the implementing organization, on how do we engage with each other to be able to actualize the opportunity that is going to come to us. So lastly, I think let's be the change we want to see. We need to have a sense of urgency, and we have to be impatient about this. We don't have much time. So that's what I would like to conclude with, is let's have a sense of urgency and impatience about this. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dhruvi, for your kind words and very important part to highlight to start this event. How keeping communities in center will help to develop local leadership, how localizing SDGs is very important, and how collaboration is collaborations between CBOs, CSOs and government is playing the vital role to initiate this. Thank you so much. Going next, मैं मंच पे आमंत्रित करना चाहूँगी श्री शैलेश सर जी का, सर के बारे में बताते हुए मैं साझा करना चाहूँगी कि सर जो हैं वो सेक्रेटरी हैं गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ रूरल डेवलपमेंट में. Sir has worked on comprehensive policy making for the rural development sector in India, which involves formulation, coordination, and implementation of programs that address the development needs of the rural areas, focusing specially on mitigating and eradicating poverty, creating sustainable employment and livelihood opportunities. Sir has more than 30 years of experience as an IS officer, having worked in the field of small and medium enterprises, steel, coal, transport, urban development, and rural development. Under his leadership in rural development, more than 90 million women were organized into SDGs, and the plan is to promote 20 million Lakhpati Didis. He has very strong focus on community collectives and livelihoods and very good support to the CSOs. With this, I take this opportunity to invite Sir on the podium.
यहाँ डेस्क पर बैठे हुए सेक्रेटरी पंचायती राज, पूर्व सेक्रेटरी पंचायती राज श्री सुनील कुमार जी, मैडम ध्रुवी शाह जी, एक्सिस फाउंडेशन की एग्जीक्यूटिव डायरेक्टर, और CII की प्रतिनिधि श्रीमती सीमा अरोड़ा जी, यहाँ इस हॉल में उपस्थित कुछ लोगों को मैं पहचान रहा हूं, और बाकी जो भी हमारे साथ इस सेक्टर में काम करने वाले सभी लोग हैं, खास करके अभी मैं देख रहा हूं डॉक्टर थॉमस इसाक हमारे साथ हैं, WR रेड्डी साहब हमारे साथ हैं, और तमाम लोग जो इस हॉल में उपस्थित हैं, और all the people who have joined us through video. It's a great opportunity for us. I thank Pradhan and the Axis Foundation for giving me this opportunity to talk, and also for putting together this Samagam 2023 on this extremely important topic of localizing the SDGs and the relevance of it all. So this conference, as has been explained earlier, this promises to bring together a very diverse array of people who are involved, who are stakeholders in this process. So we have government functionaries, we have people from the corporate sector, we have the civil society, NGOs, foundations, etc. So we all come together to discuss this. In the beginning, I would like to talk about the great work that the Rural Development Ministry has done in this regard. So as Madam said, the idea is to bring the community to the center. So our Day NRLM program, जो हमारा दीन दयाल अंत्योदय योजना नेशनल रूरल लाइवलीहुड मिशन है, it's the very epitome of this idea to bring the community at the center. ये इस तरह का काम तो पिछले करीब 3 डेकेड से हो रहा था, लेकिन इस मिशन की शुरुआत 2011 में हुई, और करीब 10-12 साल में हम लोग इस स्टेज में पहुँचे हैं कि आज हमारी जो दीदियां हैं, हमारी जो सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप की जो दीदियां हैं, वो अपने आप को बिल्कुल एम्पावर्ड महसूस करती हैं, और हर तरीके से, मतलब ये जो दिस प्लेटफॉर्म दैट वी हैव क्रिएटेड, ये प्लेटफॉर्म सोशल, इकोनॉमिक, हर तरह के डेवलपमेंट का एक बहुत ही सशक्त प्लेटफॉर्म बन के उभरा है। और इसमें हम लोग इसके माध्यम से ये जो लोकलाइजेशन की सारी जो हमारी परिकल्पना है उसको पूरा कर सकते हैं। सो जैसा कि बताया गया, एट द मोमेंट वी हैव the 9 crore figure is slightly old, so we have around 9.75 crore women who are engaged with the self-help groups, and so one woman means one household, which translates to a population, say if each household has 4-5 people, तो इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि roughly around 40 to 50 crore people in the rural areas we are touching through this program. And as I said, it can become a medium for all kinds of development intervention and for achieving our SDG goals. Along with this, whatever has been done in the NRLM, we also have started this initiative of PRI CBO convergence. तो इसमें हमारे जो community based organizations हैं within the NRLM, the idea is to have some kind of convergence with the Panchayati Raj institutions. In fact, in many places, on a standalone, informal basis, our Didis have gone ahead, they have contested elections, and they are now office bearers in many of the Panchayati Raj institutions and other institutions as well. So this is a very, very heartening development, and within the PRI CBO convergence framework, we have the Gram Panchayat development plans which are formulated on a regular basis. The village, earlier we used to call it the village poverty reduction plan. Now we call it the village prosperity and resilience plan. The VPRP, ये भी इसमें इसका एक बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण अंग है, और इस सब के ज़रिए the idea is basically only this, to localize. So as was stated in the concept note, we have made progress, but we still have a very long way to go. It mentions the study done by the Harvard Chan School of Public Health, and it talks about the need to focus on 19 of the 33 SDG indicators, with special focus on issues related to poverty, hunger, health, well-being, gender equality. To make these goals a reality, we need to understand the needs of the local community. And the organizations which are there at the local level, they know their stuff much better than people sitting in the center or the state capitals. They can make the goals fit the needs at the local level. And breaking down these big goals into local actions is what we are talking about. So we need to include everyone in this planning process and in decision making, especially those who are left out, the marginalized people. So the local involvement, as we are talking about in this conference, is the key. Our Panchayati Raj system, it shows how local action and community participation can create lasting change. But as we have seen, there's a lot that needs to be done in the direction of empowering our PRIs as well. In order for them to be part of this whole process, a lot of capacity building needs to be done, training and adapting, and making sure the people at the local level, they understand how we make these goals happen. साथ ही साथ इस कॉन्फ्रेंस का जो एक फोकस है वो ये है कि सभी स्टेक होल्डर्स को एक साथ लाना है, गवर्नमेंट्स, NGOs, कॉरपोरेट्स, एकेडमिक्स, मल्टीलैटरल ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस, सभी को एक साथ मिल के जो भी इसमें करना है, सोचना है, be it CSR funds or any other aspect of it. So we have to think about it collectively. And innovations and resources from all these disparate groups, they are very much vital for tackling the SDG challenges. And we also need good data, as we all know. So data is also important. The strong local data systems also will need to be created to help us keep track of progress and step in when needed and hold people accountable. In addition to, I spoke about the day in RLM. Within day in RLM, as ma'am mentioned, we have an immediate campaign, you may call it, or mission, you may call it, to help 2 crore of our Didis become Lakhpati. But that is not the end. We aim to ensure that all our Didis become Lakhpati. So just, the kind of empowerment that is brought about by the day in RLM, that is amazing. In addition to day in RLM, some of our other flagship programs have also done a lot in the direction of achievement of the SDG goals. Be it PMAY, the Awas, the Housing Yojana, or the MG Narega as a social security net. And rural roads. Rural roads have, I always remember when we were younger, when I used to go to our village, there was just, going to our village from the railway station, you can either walk or go on a bullock cart. So I'm not that old, but still, in my village, in my adolescence, in my early adulthood also, we used to go there, and it used to be on a bullock cart or on foot. And it also happened on one occasion that the bullock cart, in Bihar we call it ular ho jata hai. So it became like this kind of turtle. And so all these things used to happen, and there were so much hardships people used to face. But now with the Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana, we have such a good network. हालांकि उसमें और भी काम करने की ज़रूरत है. A lot more needs to be done toward, but still I would call it substantial progress. So with this, I would like to summarize saying that there's an urgent need for all of us to think. This is a chance for us to meet our development goals in a comprehensive manner, and to do it in a community-centric manner. So I hope with this, I wish this Samagam 23 a great success, and I hope it will lead to very good discussions, and it will lead us to a good way forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for sharing your views so lucidly with us, and in the end emphasizing on the need for urgency involving, of course, the community, putting the community in the center. It's really heartening to know that almost 40 to 50 crore people in our country are impacted by schemes which are being planned, executed by your ministry. So extremely grateful for setting this tempo, this energetic tempo for Samagam 2023. Going ahead, I would now like to invite Ms. Seema Arora. She's our next speaker. And a brief biodata also, or some information about ma'am's background. She is, of course, from the CII Foundation. Ma'am has pioneered the creation of services, on several services on sustainable development within the CII umbrella. Her journey with the organization began more than 3 decades ago in 1992 as a run-up towards the Earth Summit. She works on designing innovative products and frameworks to build the business case for industry to invest in sustainability and CSR. So she also, within the CII umbrella, works with, she and the organization, they work with industry, government, community-based organizations to develop policy instruments, curate collaborative initiatives across sectors, stakeholders, and develop innovative voluntary approaches. So ma'am has many notable achievements to her credit. She has incubated innovative alliances such as India CEO Forum on Clean Air, CII Climate Action Charter, India Plastic Pact, etc. Kindly welcome Ms. Seema Arora. Thank you.
Good morning, and thank you for that very, very generous introduction. Dignitaries on the dais, Honorable Secretary Shailesh Kumar Singh ji, Secretary of the Ministry of Rural Development, Shri Sunil Kumar ji, former Secretary, Ministry of Panchayati Raj, Dhruvi from the Axis Bank Foundation. Of course, all colleagues here from various initiatives that Pradhan takes, and experts, and I'm sure there are so many experts who are there, and I humbly welcome all of them, and also thank you all for giving me an opportunity to share my perspectives, share CII's views on what we think is possible in terms of localizing the SDGs, which is the theme today. Honestly, CII, as was mentioned, started this journey of working on sustainability when the Earth Summit was held in 1992. So 31 years we have tried to work on the agenda of sustainability. I remember when we first went to our members to talk of sustainable development, we back in 1992, very excited because we understood what was the Agenda 21 document that the Earth Summit had come out with, and what's the role of industry. A lot of them said, what do you mean by sustainable development? We don't understand. So, and I don't fault them, because many parts of the world, many sections of the society were still discovering what did sustainable development mean. That journey actually then evolved into CII creating a Center of Excellence on Sustainable Development in 2006, based on what we understood the industry could bring to the table. And this is not the only Center of Excellence that CII has. We have several. We have one on food and agriculture, we have on water, we have on green buildings, and we have on technology, we have on logistics. The whole idea is that how does CII as an institution bring together the understanding that the industry has, the solutions that the industry has, right to the level where it is required to be implemented. That's really the purpose of creating these verticals within CII. And we continue to strive to do this, and working with Pradhan, having relationship with organizations like Pradhan is an important aspect of being able to learn from all of you, that what is the need that continues to evolve at the local level, and also then customize the solution that CII as an organization and our industry members can actually create to solve those challenges. That said, it is a long journey that still needs to be actually traversed, and I'm sure there's so much learning that is there from the experience in this room that we can benefit from. So I stand here to just share my perspectives, but I'm sure there's so much we can learn from you. I think the whole idea of the SDGs, as everybody knows, is that no one is left behind. It's inclusion. And I think industry can play a huge, huge role in this inclusion journey. And we believe that industry, because of the various touch points it has, across its value chain, is ideally positioned to bring this inclusion into its main agenda. Like, we all focus a lot on the 2% CSR, and that's important. I believe, and in the Center of Excellence on Sustainable Development, we believe the 98% has to be inclusive. It's not just the 2%. Every day what we do in industry needs to be about inclusion, needs to be about sustainability, needs to be about the action on climate. Each one of these SDGs, the 17, have to be a part of the daily way we conduct business. And that's the whole purpose of the Center of Excellence, that how do we tell industry, how do we help industry to build this into their entire business model? Because it can't be left only through a CSR activity. Of course, it needs to be done through CSR also. Please don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that that's not good to do, but that is just a small part of how we think it can be done. It's the 98% that we think in the business models, and therefore most of our platforms that was mentioned very generously in the introduction are created so that industry can actually learn how to collaboratively work on these SDGs and solve those problems for the community and also for themselves. Because if they understand the business case, they are going to be able to scale those solutions for the SDGs to get localized, for policy to actually reflect how SDGs can actually be implemented. So we believe that that's the lens that needs to come to fore. Just give you a couple of examples. One was mentioned, I think we all right now in NCR, and Dhruvi mentioned that her throat is bad, everybody's having this problem. We know that this is the problem that we have of air pollution throughout the year. I mean, I don't think that we can say it's only the farmers that create the pollution. It's just the episodic pollution that we get in November because of the various factors that is causing us to see this visibly. Otherwise, Delhi itself and all parts of India, I was in Mumbai yesterday, extremely polluted again. So it's not just Delhi. But what we did starting 2015-16, when, a lot of the time stakeholders came to CII and said that your industry causes the problem. What are you doing about air pollution? And frankly, yes, our industry members are a part of the problem. I mean, we can't say that they don't cause. So we basically worked on scoping out what can CII do to help in some ways overcome this problem. And that's when we created the entire CII CEO Forum on Clean Air. What it did was first to put all the actors together, very much like what Samagam does, because we realized that everybody in the space working on air pollution, very well intentioned, but maybe just working in silos. So we put all of them together to understand that what is really lacking. We realized that, and particularly for the issue that we are discussing these days, and it's related to community, so I want to take that example. We did multiple things, but just this one, we realized that nobody is actually working to solve the problem of the farmer. They're actually looking at it from the air pollution lens and not from the farmer's lens. As I speak, we are in 450 villages in 12 districts of Punjab and Haryana as CII Foundation, but the programming is done through the CII Center of Excellence for Sustainable Development, bringing the solutions from industry where farmers are actually putting back the waste. As you know, all of you work there, so you know it's much more healthier to put it back into the soil rather than to burn it. But behavior change, showing them that how it needs to be done, the capacity building, and bringing the machines that are affordable, accessible, and available, the 3 A's, at the time in the window that the farmer needs. You can imagine that the penetration still is not there. I mean, all of the people work on the ground, that the penetration of the, the solution has to be there at the ground. So that's what we have focused on, looking at the farmer's need. And consequently, we think we are getting health benefits and, of course, subsequently air pollution benefits. The CEO Forum actually works with the farmers, with the farmer entrepreneurs to create those solutions, which are XC2. So how do you bring it into the economic value chain? We have people who are making, paper boards. We have people who are making packaging material, and we are facilitating that access to the market as well. So this is, and again, we think that this is not CSR because businesses, we did a study, businesses based out of NCR, they lose productivity. Their employees have health issues. They lose also the ability to attract good talent. That's the economic case for businesses to work on this issue. That's what we also created as the evidence for them to do it. Frankly, there are multiple examples. The second one I'll just take is the one that we do with, people who are, disabled, persons with disability. They're also very marginalized, and within that also women, as you know, are very, further marginalized. And I know Sir also talked about the wonderful programming that's happening through the SDGs, and also I know Pradhan works with a focus on women. In this space, again, we have created a network called the India Business and Disability Network. And what we do is we essentially get companies together to create jobs opportunities for people with disability. Our job as CII is to make sure that people are not left behind just because they have a particular disability. We're focusing right now on physical disabilities only, but I know there are so many disabilities that and we do it in multiple ways. We actually train the people, so we have training programs. We train the companies to understand that what is the ecosystem they need to create to accept people with disabilities. Because a lot of the time the people with disabilities get into the mainstream, but they leave because nobody understands them. Yeah, and nobody really understands their needs. So this is what we do. So we do this through systems, processes, capacity building. We also do a lot by recognizing companies who are doing it so that many more can do it. Again, we are building evidence. What is the business case for this? I come back to this. This is not done only as CSR. The business case is important. So we are doing studies to say that if you actually understand the needs of people with disability, you can create products and solutions. If you're an IT company, if you're a bank, like Axis Bank is a bank, you can create products for people who have disabilities. So if you include them in the mainstream, you actually can increase how you service them. And that is a business case for you to do. And this is where we think CII as an institution can play a role by ensuring that business understands that all of these SDGs every day have to be put into their business case. And they can do this by empowering all of you as well on the ground level, because you understand the needs. They can also do this in partnership with the government by feeding the learnings into the policy to see how we can take advantage of the already good things that are happening, to build on these and scale these. And this is where I stand to understand from you also how we can do this better. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Seema ma'am, for your kind words, and also focusing on very crucial points and how since last 3 decades CII is serving towards sustainable development, how the problems can be catered from the local level through NGOs and other partners, and how CII can extend support and has always been doing that. Thank you, ma'am. With this, we will go next, and I would take this opportunity with a brief introduction to invite Shri Sunil Kumar sir. Sir is an IS officer. During his long and illustrious career, he has worked in different government departments, notably Panchayati Raj, rural development, drinking water and sanitation, finance, education, planning, information and broadcasting, and industry and commerce. Sir retired as Secretary to the Government of India, Ministry of Panchayati Raj in October 2023. Under his leadership, the localizing SDGs framework was developed, and there is a strong focus on strengthening Gram Panchayats and developing Panchayat Development Index. With this, sir, I welcome you at the podium.
मंच पर उपस्थित सभी अतिथिगण, यहाँ इस सभागार में देश के विभिन्न राज्यों से आए अलग अलग स्टेक होल्डर्स, डॉक्टर थॉमस आइजैक, पूर्व वित्त मंत्री केरल, जिन्होंने लोकल गवर्नमेंट को मजबूत करने की दिशा में काफ़ी प्रयास किए हैं, डॉक्टर सरोज दास from Odisha, who was one of the authors, one of the members of the committee which prepared that localization of SDG goals, along with Ms. Jayashree Raghunandan, among others, under whose chairmanship this report was prepared. यह एक बहुत ही उपयुक्त विषय है जिस पर हम सभी लोगों को चर्चा करने की आवश्यकता है। I am happy that Pradhan, along with Keynote governance and other partners, they have brought out a summary of the report of the LSDG committee as well as the Panchayat Development Index. And it is important that we understand why it is important. Sustainable Development Goals 2015 में UN ने जारी किया, 2030 तक इन लक्ष्यों को पूरा करना है, और जो अभी मिड टर्म अप्रेजल हुआ है उसमें ये बताया गया कि अधिकांश राज्य, अधिकांश देश इन लक्ष्यों से पीछे चल रहे हैं ऑन अ वेराइटी ऑफ गोल्स। उसके पहले सदी के शुरुआत में वी हैड दोज मिलेनियम डेवलपमेंट गोल्स, उसी को हम लोगों ने रिफाइन करके SDGs के रूप में लाए, और इसके भी 7-8 साल निकल गए। बीच में 2 साल आपका कोविड का भी रहा, विच हैड अ वेरी नेगेटिव इम्पैक्ट ऑन पीपल, स्पेशली द पुअर इन डिफरेंट पार्ट्स ऑफ द वर्ल्ड। तो जब हम बात करते हैं सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल्स की, तो UN के लेवल पर जब बात होती है तो दे लुक एट द कंट्री, एंड व्हेन एट द नेशनल लेवल वी लुक एट द states. And नीति आयोग is the coordinating body जो पूरे देश में sustainable development goals कैसे how it is being implemented, उस चीज़ को वो मॉनिटर करती है। और मुख्य रूप से हम लोगों ने देखा है कि जब हम when it comes to implementing any policy, we depend on departments, and the departments depend on their field level functionaries जो आपके normally up to district level होते हैं। Most departments they have functionaries up to district level, a few departments up to block level, and a very few who have functionaries at the village level. लेकिन जिस चीज़ को नज़रअंदाज किया गया कि you have since 1993 when the 73rd Constitution Amendment Act came into force, you have Panchayati Raj institutions as a unit of constitutional unit of local government, which is there in 2.5 lakh panchayats. और अभी तक ये पिछले 30 साल का जो जर्नी है, जैसे 92 से जब CII ने सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट पर काम करना शुरू किया, उसी के साथ साथ ये हुआ। By and large, local government has been ignored in most parts of the country, and at best we have looked upon them as an implementing agency, not as a real unit of government which has decision making, which can decide for themselves what is good for them or what is not so good for them. And we have created an environment where the local government also looks up to state and central government for directions. और localization of SDGs में भी, although very well intentioned, सारा कुछ जो हम लोगों ने किया कि it is a step forward. जब हम लोगों ने इसे 9 themes में बांटा, तो उसके पीछे मकसद था कि ग्राम सभा में आम लोग उस गोल के साथ स्वयं को जोड़ सकें, उसके साथ आइडेंटिफाई कर सकें। अगर हम कहते हैं कि क्या हम अपने गांव को गरीबी मुक्त और उन्नत आजीविका युक्त यानी पॉवर्टी फ्री एंड एनहांस्ड लाइवलीहुड पंचायत बनाएंगे, तो ये एक गोल है जिससे आम लोग भी जुड़ सकते हैं, वो उसको बना सकते हैं। ये कोई गोल नहीं है कि किसी डिपार्टमेंट का, कि रूरल डेवलपमेंट डिपार्टमेंट या पंचायती राज डिपार्टमेंट का है कि मेरा इतना टारगेट है, हमें इस साल इतना पैसा मिलना है, हमें इतने लोगों को आवास देना है, इतने लोगों को हमें SHG ग्रुप्स का बनाना। इट इज़ समथिंग मोर देन दैट। तो जो 9 थीम्स में हम लोगों ने इन सभी SDGs को इंटीग्रेट किया, तो उसके पीछे मकसद केवल यही था कि आम लोग ग्राम सभा में उस चीज़ को आसानी से समझ सकें, और वो अगर उसके इफ दे बिगिन टू आइडेंटिफाई देमसेल्व्स with these goals, and begin to work on that, the whole lot can be achieved in a short frame possible. और जो केरला का एग्जाम्पल है जहाँ पीपल्स प्लान कैंपेन हुआ, जिसको अभी हम लोगों ने जीपीडीपी से पिछले 7-8 साल से नेशनल लेवल पर सभी राज्यों में जीपीडीपी बन रहा है, लेकिन उसके पीछे की जो मूल भावना थी कि सारे लोग उसमें जुड़ें, लोग अपने गोल्स को आइडेंटिफाई करें और उसके बाद उसे प्राप्त करने के लिए क्या कार्रवाई वो कर सकते हैं अपने स्तर पर, जिसको हम लोग कहते हैं कि लो कॉस्ट और नो कॉस्ट और लो कॉस्ट एक्टिविटी, और कौन सी चीज़ है जिसमें वो डिफरेंट डिपार्टमेंट्स के डिफरेंट स्कीम्स के अंतर्गत प्राप्त धनराशि को उपयोग करके उन लक्ष्यों को प्राप्त कर सकते हैं। इस दिशा में अभी हमें बहुत लंबा रास्ता तय करना है, क्योंकि जब हम लोगों ने इसे लोकलाइजेशन ऑफ एसडीजीज को इसको लॉन्च किया, उसके बाद जीपीडीपी का इसे पार्ट बनाया, हम लोगों ने ग्राम पंचायतों से अनुरोध किया कि यू कैन सेलेक्ट एनी 1, 2 और 3 ऑफ दीज एसडीजी गोल्स ऑन विच यू वुड लाइक टू गिव प्रायोरिटी, and then you should focus your attention on that, and that should get reflected in the GPDP. और आप सभी लोग फील्ड में काम करते हैं, उसमें भी अभी मतलब till recently one was a part of that year. We have and it is heartening कि at least people began to think on these year कि there can be any one of these 9 themes need to be focused upon. और हमारे पास आंकड़े हैं कि साहब जब जीपीडीपी बना तो उसमें इतने प्रतिशत लोगों ने हेल्दी विलेज पे काम करने का ठाना, इतने लोगों ने चाइल्ड फ्रेंडली विलेज या क्लीन एंड ग्रीन विलेज या वाटर सफिशिएंट विलेज, इन लोगों पर काम करने की उन्होंने निश्चय किया। जो आपका थीम 9 है, विमेन फ्रेंडली विलेज, या जहाँ पर एंजेंडर डेवलपमेंट की बात कर रहे हैं, उस पर इवन ऑन पेपर नॉट इवन 5000 पंचायत्स हैव मेड इट अ प्रायोरिटी इशू। तो जब जेंडर सेंसिटिविटी और जेंडर रिलेटेड इश्यूज की बात होती है तो इट ओनली शोज कि हाउ बिग एन इशू इट इज, एंड वी हैव अ लॉन्ग वे टू गो व्हेन वी डू दैट। और इसमें भी जब इन लोगों ने इन संकल्प को या ऑन दीज थीम्स दे डिसाइडेड टू वर्क ऑन दैट, my gut feeling is that in most cases that decision was taken by the panchayat secretary and agreed to by the sarpanch, because they had to fill this up in the GPDP, and unless they did not do that there would be no expenditure incurred. ग्राम सभा में उस पर कितना डिस्कशन हुआ, I think ये मैं नहीं कह सकता हूँ कि यहाँ से बैठे बैठे कि देश भर में कहीं पर कोई डिस्कशन नहीं हुआ, लेकिन आई थिंक देयर इज़ अ लॉन्ग वे टू गो। हमें एक लंबा सफ़र तय करना है जब लोग खुद चर्चा करके, विचार विमर्श करके खुद तय करें कि व्हाट दे कैन डू, और वो जब तय करेंगे तो उसमें केवल वो सरकार के अलग अलग स्कीम्स के तहत धनराशि की ही चर्चा नहीं करेंगे, कम्युनिटी के द्वारा उनके द्वारा क्या किया जा सकता है, दे विल ऑल्सो फोकस ऑन दैट, एंड दैट मीन्स मोर फोकस ऑन लो कॉस्ट एंड नो कॉस्ट एक्टिविटी विच कैन बी फंडेड बाय द कम्युनिटी देमसेल्व्स। बिहेवियरल चेंज की बात करनी, अगर हम हर एक घर में नल से जल पहुंचा भी देंगे, इफ आई डोंट स्टोर इट प्रॉपरली एंड इफ आई डोंट take out the water from the pot properly, it can get contaminated, and there will be no reflection on the level of waterborne diseases that are happening in that panchayat or that village. ये correlation हमें स्थापित करनी होगी कि how do you establish a linkage between water prevalence of waterborne diseases and clean water, because at the source, yes, it is clean water. वहाँ पर हमने PhD ने या जिसने भी whichever is the department which is undertaking these works, they have set up a testing mechanism and they say कि yes, it is pure water which is going. But on the way, if the pipeline is broken, if it is not maintained properly, if it is not stored properly, there can be various ways where contamination can occur. And that becomes, and now all these are being transferred to the panchayats for operation and maintenance. But how they will do it? On that, there has been little thought which has been given. In fact, 20 years back, there was a sector reforms program under which World Bank funded, under which similar type of activities were being done. It got transformed into Swajal Dhara. But then it died its natural death because the departments concerned were not interested in that. So this is a huge challenge before us, कि even after making such big investments, how do we ensure its sustainability? और ये example मैं इसलिए दे रहा हूँ कि local government is the agency, is the unit which is the closest to the people, which is directly accountable, and which all of us, we have sadly ignored. And that includes industry too. We are happy to interact with central government and state government, but we find it very cumbersome to deal with district panchayat, gram panchayat, less said the better. It's too wide. And that mindset, I think that is the one which has to change. Community में भी जो हमारे NGOs में भी हैं, they are happy to interact with secretaries to Government of India, secretaries to state governments. लेकिन when it comes to पंचायत function, they say नहीं यहाँ पर बहुत ज़्यादा politics चल रहा, इससे हमें दूर रहना, तो इसमें हमारा बहुत समय खराब होगा. तो जैसे आपका समय खराब हो रहा है, उसी तरह से वो पंचायत सेक्रेटरी भी सोचता है कि इस महिला सरपंच से चर्चा करने में मेरा इतना समय खराब होगा, it is better to deal with her husband and get the thing done. And then we blame everyone कि they are, you have 46% women elected representatives, and they actually it's proxy sort of people who are working. तो these are real issues. तो अभी जो हम लोगों ने किया है, जो localization of SDGs जारी हुआ है, that is the first step. Second step होगा जब सभी stakeholders इसमें स्वीकार करेंगे कि if it has to be actually implemented on the ground, you have to deal with local government. और जो पंचायत डेवलपमेंट इंडेक्स आया है, I'll just speak, it is all linked to these 9 themes and all these SDGs. This is sort of plugging a huge gap which existed in terms of data. Data में आपको national level data मिल जाएगा, state level data मिल जाएगा, and in certain ये आपका district level का मिल सकता है, कुछ on certain parameters, some block level data. But if you want data at the panchayat level, it will not be available. एक पंचायत में there are 5 आंगनवाड़ीज, and each आंगनवाड़ी is reporting independently. And all that data is coming to the center or at the state level, and there it is being, this is green color, this is red color, this is yellow color, whatever. But if you ask at that panchayat level, if you want intervention and support from the local panchayat, have you ever presented before the panchayat, ki look, this is the extent of malnutrition in this panchayat. These are the families where the children are malnourished. What can we do for them? वो हम नहीं करते. तो this paves the way for that. और पंचायत डेवलपमेंट इंडेक्स में I am extremely happy that almost all state governments, they have really come forward, and जो आपका session होगा उसमें joint secretary पंचायती राज, when he will be making his presentation, he will be explaining in greater detail कि कैसे हो रहा है, क्या हो रहा है. क्योंकि हमें जब डेटा हम कलेक्ट करते हैं तो डेटा फॉर whom, इस चीज़ को भी हमें ये करना होगा. जिससे हम डेटा कर रहे हैं उसको पता होना चाहिए या नहीं होना चाहिए. हम डेटा प्रिवेसी की बात करते हैं, हम बड़े बड़े फोरम्स पे इंटरनेशनल और ये फेक डीप क्या AI के माध्यम से किस तरह से एवरीथिंग कैन बी, एंड वी लिंक इट अप. लेकिन जिसका हम डेटा ले रहे हैं, वी आर नॉट विलिंग टू शेयर इट विद देम. तो पंचायत डेवलपमेंट इंडेक्स provides an opportunity where if all of us work together, all of us demand, then it can become available. Local government will also need to demand, ki yes, I want to see this here. Otherwise, it is there on paper. If they refuse to see it, no one can force them to see it. No? And not only see it, take corrective action. So that is one area where all of us, and the good thing is ki all this will be in the public domain. In fact, this is one good thing in Ministry of Panchayati Raj, that whatever data is there, nothing is confidential. Everything is in the public domain. Whether it is relating to expenditure, whether it is relating to projects, schemes taken up, right or wrong, whatever is there, but it is there in the public domain. So now it is up to us. So without taking too much time, because I'm sure that in the sessions that will follow, all of you would be discussing it in greater detail. It is an extremely important subject. लेकिन उस पर हम जब SDGs बना रहे हैं, SDGs तो केवल एक गोल है. हमको वो institutional framework में we need to recognize कि local government has an extremely important role to play. Without having strong local government, whether in rural areas or urban areas, we cannot become a developed country. That is my belief. And for this, all of us need to work together, चाहे कोई भी हो, किसी भी level पे काम कर रहे हो, whether it is in the field of academics, whether it is in the field of government, wherever, all of us need to collectively come together and begin to work towards that end. इसमें जो सेक्रेटरी आरडी ने बताया कि जो SHGs का collaboration अब शुरू हुआ है, where we have taken sort of baby steps in that direction and where we have a long way to cover, that will be extremely critical. And this is one area where, since we have more than 80 lakh SHG groups, 8 crore or 9 crore members, how we can bring them together, and their collaboration with local government will be mutually beneficial both for local government as well as the SHGs. और तीसरा जो आखिरी बात है कि हमें एक नया लीडरशिप डेवलप करना होगा at the local level. A leadership which is looking at finding solutions to their problems and not leaving it to someone else to find solutions, bring out a scheme and then implement that. ये चीज़ हम लोगों को समझना होगा कि अपनी समस्याओं का हल हमें स्वयं ढूंढना होगा. There are no shortcuts in this. और वो चीज़ जब हम करेंगे तो सभी चीज़ जो स्कीम्स हैं, चाहे वो स्टेट गवर्नमेंट की हों, चाहे वो गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया की हों, वो सभी फिर उसी के हिसाब से बनाई जाने लगेंगी. अभी जब कहीं से कोई डिमांड नहीं होता है तो हमें जितना अच्छा लगता है, बुरा लगता है, जितनी हमारी समझ होती है, हम लोग वी मेक इट. आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि वी मेक रॉन्ग स्कीम्स, बट इट डज नॉट रिफ्लेक्ट द ग्राउंड रियलिटी टू द एक्सटेंट दैट इट शुड. तो इस दिशा में भी हमने काम करनी होगी. जो हमें लोकल गवर्नमेंट की लीडरशिप है उसको हम कैसे चेंज करें. दे शुड नॉट बिकम अ रेप्लिका ऑफ ऑल दैट इट प्लेग्स सो कॉल्ड पॉलिटिक्स, कि वहाँ पर भी हम मुर्गा खिला करके हम वोट ले लें, हम पैसा बांट करके वोट ले लें. ये सारी चीज़ें नहीं हो. इसके लिए विल नीड टू वर्क रियली हार्ड. अदरवाइज ऑन इट्स ओन, no matter how many laws we frame, it will remain on paper. Those laws will remain on paper, and politics will go on the way it is going on in large parts of the country. So I congratulate Pradhan कि आपने समाज, सरकार और बाजार तीनों को जो साथ में ले करके चलने का प्रयास किया है. And now you are also including local government in this. That I think holds a very strong message. और जिस दिन जो आप बिजनेस मॉडल की बात कर रहे थे, जिस दिन ग्रामीण क्षेत्र में लोग सर्विस स्टैंडर्ड्स की बात करने लगेंगे, क्वालिटी ऑफ सर्विस की बात करने लगेंगे, उस दिन बिजनेस मॉडल अपने आप डेवलप होगा। चाहे वो वाटर हो, चाहे वो सैनिटेशन हो, चाहे वो एनर्जी सप्लाई हो, चाहे वो हैबिटाट हो, एनीथिंग that will need to happen. But that is a separate subject. We'll have a discussion on that some other time. Thank you. Wish you all the best.
सर बेहतरीन, सर बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपका। आपने बिल्कुल जो हमारे 2 दिन का ये जो समागम है उसकी बिल्कुल टोन आपने सेट हम सभी के लिए की है, और इतने सारे जो आपने विचार दिए कि एक बिल्कुल जन आंदोलन, अगर मैं आपके समस्त विचारों को सर उसका समागम करूं एक शब्द में, तो वाकई में एक बड़े जन आंदोलन की आवश्यकता है समाज में भी और तमाम उन संस्थाओं में जो कि इन योजनाओं का एग्जीक्यूशन कर रहे हैं, इनको क्रियान्वित कर रहे हैं। मैं अपने जो चारों यहाँ पर पैनलिस्ट हैं, मैं आप चारों का ही आभार इस मंच के माध्यम से करना चाहूँगा। वैसे तो बहुत सारी बातें हैं बोलने को, लेकिन समय जो है हम समय से आगे बढ़ रहे हैं, तो आप सभी ने जो अपने विचार प्रस्तुत किए, ध्रुवी जी से शुरुआत करते हुए, उसके बाद सेक्रेटरी साहब से, उसके बाद सीमा मैम से, और सर जो आपने किया, तो आप सभी के लिए मैं धन्यवाद देना चाहूँगा और आमंत्रित करना चाहूँगा सरोज जी को यहाँ पर कि आपको जाने से पहले एक छोटा सा स्मृति चिन्ह सरोज जी आप सभी का पुनः बहुत बहुत आभार। मैं अब शिखा को आमंत्रित करना चाहूँगा कि हम अपने अगले सत्र की शुरुआत करेंगे। सरोज जी आप भी कृपया कर आइए प्लीज़। Thank you very much, sir and ma'am.